This video is a replay of a trade I took today. Now, it probably goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. I am not a financial advisor, and trading entails risk. Just because I got these results today doesn't mean that I can get these every day, nor that you can. Remember, the entire premise of the investing project and the $1 million experiment is that I am not an expert, and yet I am learning how to do this. So for heaven's sake, don't just blindly copy me. Instead, find a mentor, someone who is an expert, and join their community. Pay for their mentorship. This approach has worked very well for me, and it likely will for you too. So use this video partly as education and partly as inspiration. After all, if I can learn this, you can too. Hello all. So I took a short on the NQ this morning. It took a while for this to happen. It was a little after 8. It was 8:17, I think, that I got into this, or 8:16. After 8 anyway. And so what I ended up doing here was it looked for a while, almost a couple of hours of the market really doing not very much, just sort of staying in one spot. But what actually prompted me to take this, if you look here at, I was ignoring the 5 minute for the short because that just seemed a little too much noise. And you can see here a couple of occasions where if I'd gotten in the 5 minute, it would have just reversed on me. So 1, 2 occasions there. So I wasn't trusting the 5 minute. But looking over here at the 15 minute, there would have been one instance where this would have been a problem pre-market. But looking here, we finally had a spot where the 15 minute, if I'd gotten in right up here, that would have been ideal. But the next 15, but I didn't again. The next 15 minute, it looked like it was going to break as well. And the thing that ultimately convinced me to do this was looking at the hourly. We had a 60-minute bar that closed. This is the next 60-minute that's in play at the moment, but you can see that it's not far off the low of the previous 60-minute. And those two things together made me think, yeah, you know what? I like this as a setup. So I decided to go short on this 15-minute bar here. And so I did. Let me just speed up the replay here, and we'll see where we are. So this takes a second. It goes back and forth a little bit, but then it triggers. And so this would have been 100 handles of risk, and I gave it a little bit more just to give it some room. And almost immediately, it started to take off, and it pulled the stop down to even. This, I presume, was a news bar of some description. Now, what happened here is, because it was coming down, I'm going to pause this. Okay, so I'm out already. It snapped back very quickly on my trailing 50 handle stop, and it stopped me out for a profit of $155 is what I ended up with. $154. So that's 77 handles. So that was a nice little move. But and I only had one contract because with the NQ, that's taking $200 of risk, and I'm really only supposed to go up to 150. So I didn't want to take any more than that. But in the event, once I build the account to the point where I would be trading 2 contracts, this would have been a prime example of where I would have taken one of the contracts and not trailed the other. I would have just left it at even, and you can see why if I let this go on a little further. It snapped back, but over the next little while, it then proceeded substantially lower. And it would have been a nice 200-point trade, I think. Let's just let this unfold. We got in at, what was it, 8:30? It was 8:37, so this would have been down to 6:37. And we can see, if we keep an eye on where 6:37 is, that's way down here, right about where my cursor is right there. And we can see over the next little while, it does take out the pre-market low and head on down towards this level. So I think that would have actually been a very, very nice 200-point, $400 trade if I'd had the 2 contracts. Oh, sorry, that would have been an 8. Well, if I had taken the first 154, call it 150, and another 400, it would have been 550 if I'd had the 2 contracts. That would have been nice. However, such is life. When you only have one contract on, you got to take it when you can get it. Otherwise, you run the risk of losing it altogether. But I just want to let this go a little bit and see whether, in fact, it would have hit my level. It's always interesting to see, because the more you watch the performance of these vehicles, the more you get used to what they do in certain situations. And it strikes me that this came down, I believe it came down below the low. Let's just have a look. Yeah, it's coming down here. Yeah, there we are. Yes, we certainly would have got our 200 a 200 point move there. So anyway, there you go. It was still good, $154, and I'll take it.